Good morning. Happy first day of December, everybody. So I wanted to make a part two of the video of the Scarlet and Violet era illustration rares that you should be grading. You know, that'll give you, returns in your PSA 10s over $100. So, we'll start with like the Scarlet and Violet base set. There are no illustration rares that are over $20 in that set. The Ralts is like right there. It's kind of flirting with the $20. I think it hit $20 the other day, but it is back down under at 19 something. So that one's still good on the original list. So that's Scarlet and Violet base. We go to Pal de Evolve, the second set, and there's 3 cards in there. 3 cards worth grading that are over $20, and we'll go with the first one, the Raichu here. I think this card here is sitting around Raichu, $33.18 as is the TCG player market price, $33.18. And when you grade this one here, you can expect to get somewhere around $200. It'll be a $200 card after if it's a PSA 10. I gotta clarify what I'm talking about here. And there's the population in a PSA 10 is only 491 of these, which is kind of crazy because it's a super popular card. There's not even 500 of these graded in a PSA 10. Some of those lower ones that I had, we were talking about like, some of those Scarlet Violet ones, 54 PSA 10s. The Tarantula only had 3. So this guy here has 491 PSA 10s, and it is it goes from like a $33 card to like a $200 card. You could expect to pay a little bit more sometimes. I wouldn't expect to get it for under, maybe you can hit it for 195 or whatever, but yeah, that's our first one from Pal de Evolved. Second one from Pal de Evolved is the Tyranitar. Beautiful card right there. Kind of, to me, it goes with that Groudon from, what's that, Paradox Rift? But this one here, market value, this one dropped a little bit recently, but it kind of has a little bit of a rebound. It dropped back down to like 34, but now it's back up at 37.01 on the TCG player. And this one here in a PSA 10 is going for maybe 260, 270. If you can get this one for under 300 in a PSA 10, that's probably pretty good. But the population on this one also as well is 477. I mean, I don't know why the population is so low on some of these cards. 477 PSA 10s, and so that might, I don't know if if there was more, I still think that this card being in the 250 to 275 range in a PSA 10, no matter how many there are, is probably about right. So that's that Tyranitar it's caught some fire recently. So I know a few months back this thing was probably still sitting under like $20 or something like that, but yeah, this card's never going to see those prices again. So, and the big doggy Magikarp right here. Magikarp here this is crazy. It just shot up to 185.91 is the market value on a TCG player, and you got to take that with a grain of salt because TCG player just did that 10% cyber deal. That's good till tomorrow, I think. And like all the big hitters went up in price. Everything. The Bubble Mew's at 300 right now. If you have a Bubble Mew and you're wanting to sell it, right now is the time to sell it. But I do think Bubble Mew it's going to hold value for a long time. But if you need money and you've been thinking about selling your Bubble Mew, right now is a good time to sell it. Tomorrow's probably a good time to sell it. But after that, I expect the prices to go back down just a little bit, not too crazy. But anyway, Magikarp here, 185.91, ridiculous. This is the king of the illustration rares right here. Almost a $200 illustration rare, which is nuts. Like, I thought that the illustration rares were going to follow the same pattern as like the trainer galleries from the Sword and Shield era. Not even close. The trainer galleries, the most expensive trainer gallery is that Mew. It's like $7, or the Flareon or something like that from I forget which set those are from, Lost Origin and Crown Zenith. They're the most expensive trainer gallery, non-textured trainer galleries we're talking about that are kind of like illustration rares, are sitting at like $7 or $8. It's ridiculous. It's crazy. The textured trainer galleries, I think the biggest hitter on that one is that Starmie from is that Astral Radiance, and it's like a $50 card. So it's like an illustration rare, textured and all that stuff, harder to hit. But anyway, so Magikarp here is $185, but if you get it in a PSA 10, it's looking like it's $884.30. So that's a pretty big jump. I think that's about a 350 something percent jump. But you know, if because this is not like your little $2 card that becomes $200, you know, like the Gotharita and stuff like that. So those had those 4,000% gains. But I mean, that's a big gain. If you can get this card and hit a PSA 10 on that, you're looking at almost $1,000 card. I'm actually pretty sure that there was recently sales that hit $1,000 because, you know, PSA 10s, there could be a $200 difference between one sale and another sale on some of these big hitters, which is crazy. It's nuts. But yeah, I expect this card to be about close to $900 if you can hit a PSA 10 on this. And this one's not a 10. It's probably a 9. I mean, looking at it, I mean, most of these are probably 9s. I'm lucky if there's a 10. It's hard to get 10s in this era. All right, so after Proudly Evolved, we go to Obsidian Flames, of course. And Obsidian Flames has no illustration rares that are $20. I mean, just recently, the Ninetales, which was on my other list for the under 20, Ninetales is at just under $19. Ninetales looks like an expensive card. I think it'll be in the $20 range soon. So that's one to look out for if you have those Ninetales right now, or if you haven't bought the Ninetales, probably should have got it back when it was like, you know, $10 or something like that. I know it was $9, $8 for a while there, but now, I mean, all these illustration rares. I mean, look at Magikarp, look at Groudon, look at Tyranitar. All these the big hitters they're moving. They're gonna do good numbers. So illustration rares have caught fire. Scarlet and Violet era has caught fire. I think it's it took the Greninja. I mean, 151 did some good numbers. It did what it did, but it didn't drag the rest of the sets with it. The Greninja and Twilight Masquerade kind of let people know that this era actually is a heavy hitting era, and it's got good stuff, and it's gonna have some value. So in the future, and so people are jumping on it now. Finally, people are jumping on the Scarlet and Violet train. They're not scared of the silver borders anymore. And illustration rares, they don't care if it's textured or not. It's the artwork. It's the actual character that drives the cards. You know, not a rarity or something like Sword and Shield era kind of was a rarity, and then it was the character. You know, so this is a little bit different. But all right, so the next era, next one we go to after where are we at here? After Obsidian Flames is 151. So 151, we have, may not go in any kind of order. I'm gonna go with what I got here. So first one we're gonna look at Squirtle here, and Squirtle is $40.66. $40.66. I mean, this is, look at the Squirtle here this is like a beautiful line of cards right here. I love this, the Squirtle, the Blastoise, and the Wartortle. Just, I don't know if you guys ever, I don't have them all in here. Let's see here, let's find, so they go like this. If you stack them up, if I had the Blastoise here, which you stack them up, they kind of make a picture. I believe it goes up, yeah, it goes up like that, makes the picture. Could be down, maybe it's down. Nah, it's up, So anyway, so so the Squirtle here is, so in a PSA 10, let me pull the PSA 10 price up here real quick. So on the Squirtle in a PSA 10, you're looking at about $192.58. I can expect that there, if I was to look at all the eBay sales, there's sales over 200. So don't expect to get this card for much less than 200. It's about a $200 PSA 10 card, and those prices are going to start going up, I'm pretty sure. I mean, 151 has got a little bit of a pause because of Surging Sparks. It might get a little bit more pause because of Prismatic Evolutions, but I feel like 151 is just waiting to hit another big fat surge. So yeah, so this card here, you know, it's a, what did I say? It was a $40 card, and it goes up to a $200 PSA 10 card. I'll say 200 plus. I'm pretty sure that we're getting sales over 200 right now. And then let's look at the other line in that one, the Wartortle here. And Wartortle is $25.08. So this card, you know, it's one of the lower illustration rares, especially from the starter line. It's one of the lower ones. And in a PSA 10, it does it's probably one of the cheaper too. It's about $175 card in a PSA 10, which is not bad. I mean, that's pretty cool. Well, I don't know why World Turtle doesn't get as much love as Squirtle and Blastoise, but it seems like the middle line just kind of, it happens to them. Let's see here. We got the Dragonair. I got a couple copies here. I don't know why I grabbed two, but so the Dragonair here is $24.64, and in a PSA 10, we're looking at $111.20, $111.20. But I have a funny feeling that might just be a little bit low. You know, I'm using Pokédata, but if you go to price charting, let's just take a peek at price charting for this card here in a PSA 10. If you go to price charting, you can click on the chart there. They have ungraded, graded 9. If you go and click on the blue bar, the PSA 10, it'll put the cards in order by PSA 10. And so let's look for the Dragonair here. We are, yeah, the Dragonair and a PSA 10. It says $110. When you click on it, then you can look at the prices. So we've had sales of $135, $99, $50, $120, $91. So I said, if you could get this card in a PSA 10 for under $100, I would do that now. But I doubt. I don't know if. Because you can't verify the $91 sale right there. It could be a verified sale or not. I mean, you can't tell if the transaction went through, but someone getting it for $91, that's actually pretty awesome for a $24 card in a PSA 10 only being $91. That'd be awesome. But expect to pay $100, $110, $120 for this in a PSA 10. But like I said, that makes me want to go look and see if someone's willing to sell one for like $90. So I'll probably have to check after this video. That's actually pretty awesome. I learned something at this moment here. All right, so the next one, you know what, I'm gonna show one that I already have graded. Yeah, in a 9, whatever. This is the Charmander. It's sitting at $48.15. It's like flirting with the $50 mark. Just waiting to hit over that 50 bucks. But Charmander here in a PSA 10, Charmander PSA 10, it's going for $248. I can expect, I'm expecting that this guy to start hitting 300 in the PSA 10s, all this 151 stuff. But yeah, so this is a $48 card, and it ends up being about $250 in a PSA 10. Pretty nice. Next, let's do the Ivysaur, Bulbasaur line here. You got the Bulbasaur here. Bulbasaur is sitting at $35.25, which is not bad. I mean, I think they could have did a little bit more with this artwork, but I kind of like the little, he's like doing the little hide and seek right there. And this card goes from the $35.25 in a PSA 10 to $182.93. I'm pretty sure that this is going to crack the 200 mark. So if you can get this for under $200 now, it's probably a good time to get that one. Next we have the Ivysaur, another one, $28.14 raw, and in a PSA 10 we are looking at about $158.85. I'm expecting, if I was to go look, we'll probably find some sales at as high as $175, and we might find some sales as low in the 140s. But so we're looking at about $160 in the PSA 10 on the Ivysaur. All right, we have the, oh, I should have did this one after Charmander, but the Charmeleon. But this is a $30.70 card, and in a PSA 10, this guy goes for $205.51. So it's a pretty good jump from a raw to a PSA 10. $205.51. Like I said, these prices, I'm pretty sure if you go and look on the eBay's last sales, you're probably going to see some that are probably well over the 205, and you might see some a little under that 205. I'm pretty sure you might be able to, it'd be cool to find these for like maybe 175 or something like that. But I'm definitely going to go look for that Dragonair if I can get that for under 100 bucks. But fingers crossed. But yeah, there you go. About a little over $200 for this card in the PSA 10. And the last one from 151 is the Pikachu. I love that card. It's got so many different Gen 1 little guys on there. But Pikachu here goes from a $25.90 card to $135.10 in a PSA 10. So I'm not sure if you can actually, if you're gonna, it just seems like that's kind of low for this card. So we're gonna look at some last eBay sales here for this guy. Where is Pikachu? Well, they don't. Okay, here we go. Pikachu. Here says 139.17 on price charting, so it's a little bit higher than Pokédata. And then when you go click on it, the last sales 124.24, 132.50, 132.51. So yeah, you're looking about $130 on this one right here. 130 on the Pikachu and the PSA 10. So that's actually not that bad either. That's actually pretty good. And it's hard to get these in a PSA 10. Let's see, what was the population on the Pikachu? Pikachu is more popular, so I would expect to see, yeah, 2,426 of these in the PSA 10. So that might be what's keeping it just a little bit low, but still not bad. That's a good price for that in the PSA 10. These are going to be expensive in the futures in raw, let alone in a PSA 10. So might be something good to get. So that's all the 151. So after 151, we go to Paradox Rift, and really with Paradox Rift, there's only one one illustration rare that that goes over the $100 mark, and it's the Groudon. So Groudon is currently sitting at about $61.48, $61.48. It keeps flirting with that $60 mark. I've seen it get as high as 65, come back down to like 58. But I expect this is kind of like that. To me, this is like the next Magikarp, the next one that's gonna be going over $100. It's a beautiful card. I think the Tyranitar might follow suit with it. I mean, they seem to kind of go together a little bit. But in a PSA 10, you're looking at $204.75 from a $61 card. So I think that's still pretty good, 204. I don't expect PSA 10s to last that long at that price. The population of it is 1,701 PSA 10s. So there's a lot out there. I'm pretty sure if you go on eBay right now, look for PSA 10s, there'll probably be a handful up for sale, and expect to pay a little over $200 for this in a PSA 10. And now we go to, after Paradox Rift is Paldean Fates. There is not one illustration. There's only 3 in there, but they're not really, they're not even like grade worthy. They're like 50-cent cards, which that kind of sucks because they're actually beautiful. That Palafin is like one of my favorite illustration rares from the whole era, and it's like a 50-cent card. It hasn't even moved from the 50-cent, and it hasn't even, I don't know, like people have bought like stacks of them expecting them to be worth something. I think it's gonna be like 10 years from now, they might be a $5 card. So yeah, if you want to hold them for a long time, maybe. But so, and then the last one I'm gonna look at is Temporal Forces. The other sets are a little too new. I'm gonna save those, the Eevee from Twilight Masquerade, the 2 starters from Stellar Crown, and I think there's a Dusknoir line, that Persian, and the Houndoom from Charlotte Fable. Pretty nice cards, but we'll get to those later. So we're gonna stop at Temporal Forces, and for Temporal Forces, literally the only card to grade in there is the Ghastly, and this Ghastly is currently sitting at 27.43. It got a little bump up. It was sitting around 25 for the longest, just pretty much flat. But during that 10% sale, Black Friday sale at TCG Player, it's bumped it up a couple bucks. So yeah, it's currently sitting at 27.43, and in a PSA 10, it's going for about $145.36. So if you got these right here, PSA 10s, it's not blowing you away at 145, but it's actually not that bad. Trying to see here. This copy looks pretty clean right here. Centering is not the best, but the back corners are great. I don't think that's 60-40 centering, so I think this would probably get a 9. It's clean everywhere else, so like the back corners and everything look pretty nice, no white or anything. So that's unfortunate that it's just slightly off like that, but anyway, so that's the last card that I'm looking at. Some that are close, the Steelix from Paradox Rift is a $21 card, so it almost made this list, but it's had sales over 100, but it's constantly selling at like $89 to $95. So you can get that Steelix in a PSA 10 for under 100 bucks. Go get that. I'm pretty sure it won't be hard for you to do that. But like, there's nothing else that's close. I mean, in Temporal Forces, there's a Sawsbuck, the Metagross, the Deerling, and you can get all those in PSA 10s for well under 100 bucks, probably under 70. The Litten, the Salvatore, I mean, Arbok's a nice card, the Cinccino. But like I said, with Paradox Rift, there's literally only one that's close. The Plusle and the Evoltal, I think those are the only ones that are getting close to $20 cards, but they're still not. I think they're closer to 15, and that they don't. Their PSA 10s aren't going over $100. And then, like I said, in Scarlet and Violet 151, we already looked at all the cards, and the only one below 20 that gives you good returns was a Psyduck. The Poliwhirl is consistently selling for under $100 in a PSA 10. So, and that's a beautiful one right there. So if you, I think Poliwhirl would be a good one to buy right now. And in a PSA 10, if you can get that one for pretty cheap, 70, 80 bucks or something in a PSA 10, it'll be a good hold right there. But all right, man, that's the end of my video. Enjoy the rest of your sleepy Sunday. You know, relax your relaxation day, I guess we're gonna call it. I'm in the office. I'm gonna do a little bit of work. But all right, man. See you guys on the next video.